Hey there, so let me show you how I made this fabric pumpkin topiary. And I basically used like scraps and stuff that I had around my house. I used this Dollar Tree pumpkin, some yarn, felt, fabric, polyfill, ribbon, plastic bags, and also a little planter that I had from IKEA. So I started wrapping these pumpkins that I had for like 3 years already. I haven't done anything with them. I just put them out from time to time during Halloween or fall season, but I wanted to do something different. They just very plain. I didn't want to paint them. So I decided to just use them as a guide for these pumpkins, fabric pumpkins. I'm trying not to spend so much time, so much money on decorations. So I was a little bit more creative this year, making stuff up. And I wrap out the pumpkins. And this is the last one. I made 3 of them, different sizes. For the little one, I didn't put any padding and the handles of the bags. I actually used them for the stem because it's going to be the top. So I decided to use it like this. I put a little bit of tape around it to keep it straight. And now what I'm going to do with the pumpkins, I picked 3 different kinds of fabric. So I'm going to wrap them around and use a little bit of hot glue. I didn't measure how much fabric I needed for each pumpkin. This is the first one. It's not the prettiest. I kind of messed up a little bit, to be honest. But at the end, I like how it turned out. So we're good. I will add more glue and make sure that it all sticks this way. And now that I have it, I'm gonna use the yarn that I have. I'm gonna wrap it around. I needed 3 pieces of this yarn to wrap around the pumpkin, and I tighten it up to give the grooves that usually pumpkins have. So I'm gonna do this with all the size of the pumpkin, and I did wrap around on the bottom of the first one. That way they would be more secure and not move all around. It's a little bit of a struggle to be pulling and making sure they'll stay in the right position, but just use your index finger to keep it all in place. I was trying to do this really quick, so it gave me a little bit of trouble at first, but once you get the hang of it, the other ones become easier to make. One of the things that I would change is probably for this pumpkin, I would have added a little bit more padding. Just because it's the bottom pumpkin, I should have made it fluffier. That way, when I was making these grooves, it would have made it a little bit different. It didn't turn out bad. If I had to make it again, I'll probably do it a different way. Just so it was a little bit bigger, fluffier than how it turned out. But yeah, this is a second pumpkin. I'm going to add the other fabric and just glue it together the same way. And this is the smaller pumpkin, the top one. So for this, I'm going to do the same thing I did with the other ones. It's obviously a little bit smaller, so I use less fabric. So I'm just gonna start wrapping around, and I found this technique better than the last one. I actually glue the inner parts of the fabric and then the corners to give it this better look than the other ones. Made it easier also to wrap. So for this one, I'm actually gonna use some of the yarn and tie it around this stem and use that same yarn to go around and create the grooves for the pumpkin. These ones, they weren't that, I guess, indented because it didn't have any padding or anything, so it was a smaller pumpkin. But I still like the look that it had. Now I'm gonna grab some of the scrap felt pieces that I had here, and I'm gonna make these cuts like this, wrap around the felt around the stem and glue it. And as you can tell, it kind of gives it like the leaves look to the pumpkin. I I like how it turned out. I'm gonna go around a couple of times right here and glue on the way. And also I'm gonna use a little bit of thread. I actually cut a long piece and I folded it in half and 2 times I believe. So that's why it's so thick. But you can use yarn. I actually had yarn, but it was a very different color, so I decided not to. And I'm just gonna wrap it around and make it look like a vine kind of thing. And this is how it gives that look like it's an actual stem for the pumpkin. This year I've been obsessed with pumpkins, so I decided to make a bunch for the house. And now I'm gonna add a little dot in these edges so they stick and they don't stand up. The next step that I'm gonna do, I'm actually going to decorate this as a little pot that I got from IKEA. I've had this for a couple years as well. So I believe they still have this in store. Anyways, I'm just gonna add ribbon around. I have found this ribbon at the Dollar Tree. So I'm just gonna put it like this to decorate it a little bit, make it look nicer instead of a plain pot. And I'm going to make a simple ribbon. You can find the tutorial for the simple ribbon in my channel. I'm gonna link it below. It's pretty easy, but if you want to like more explanation and stuff than just this video, go check that one out, and you can actually customize it to the size that you need. I'm going to heat seal the edges of the ribbon because we don't like fraying in here. And now I'm going to cut a little piece to do the center of the bow. Add glue as well and glue it to the pot. I decided to just glue it in the center like this. So now I grabbed this piece of cement. I found it in those things that they sell at the dollar store for the balloons so they don't fly away. I just took up all the shiny paper that it comes with, and I'm gonna wrap it around with the same yarn that I used for the pumpkin, the leftover yarn. I'm gonna wrap it around, that way it will stay secure, and also will give it a little weight because I didn't attach it to the pot. Now I'm gonna make a couple of holes in the pumpkins in the styrofoam of the pumpkins, and I'm gonna add a piece of wooden stick, like a wooden stick right here, and this is how I'm gonna attach them together, that way they're secure and they're not flying around the whole house with my kids playing with them. I'm gonna add glue just to be sure that they're gonna stay in place because the sticks are a little thin, so I don't want them to break. And I'm just gonna assemble all 3 pumpkins together. So I'm gonna cut the excess of yarn that I have here after I added the dots of glue and stuff. And yeah, these are the pumpkins that I made. This is a quick decoration. Well, kind of quick. It took me a couple hours, but yep. This is how I made it. I think it turned out fantastic. I hope you enjoyed this mini video of me making Halloween decorations. Thank you so much for watching. Not forget to subscribe if you already subscribed. Thank you very much. Give us a thumbs up and check out these other videos that I have here that can be helpful for crafts or decorations. Bye.